Welcome back to my channel. I'm Queen Vic, a 20 plus year commercial flight attendant based in New York City, and today I'm bringing you an interview with my girlfriend Gina, who is a flight attendant with me in a segment I like to call Flight Attendants Do More Than a Stunt Woman, a true stunt woman in both television and movies. Let's get that interview started with Gina and join me with Flight Attendants Do More Than Fly. Let's go. My girlfriend Gina, who I'm a flight attendant. Well, we are flight attendants together. Where are you from and where were you born?
Oh, well, if you've seen all the commercials recently, I was born in Camp Lejeune.
What? What
have you? Oh my God, how have you missed them?
What?
Their water contamination for years in Camp Lejeune. People are getting cancer, they're dying. There are huge lawsuits everywhere. So anyway, I was born on the Marine base in Camp Lejeune, which is Jacksonville, North Carolina.
Okay. Wow. I guess I'm watching the news. Oh my gosh.
Then I lived in, of all places, in New Jersey, the first part of my life. And my dad worked on Wall Street, but he was also in the Marines, flew helicopters. He was a pilot, was teaching at Teterboro. Fixed.
Yeah.
And then one weekend, accident, he died in a crash.
I didn't know that. How old were you?
I was 5. So my mom moved us to Virginia, where her family is. And so I grew up in Virginia. And then I made my way back here because there just weren't very many stunt opportunities in Virginia.
Were you already doing stunt work before you were a flight attendant? Or is this something you did when you became a flight attendant?
No. It was sort of around the same time. I was in Virginia. I was flying.
Because how long have you been flying now?
24 years.
24 years? Okay.
So then what happened is I had a bunch of free time because, of course, as flight attendants, we do. But even though I had a family, I was lucky enough that I didn't have to work full time. So I took the other part of my time and focused it on basically what I grew up doing, which was theater, acting. So I wanted to get back into that. I got headshots, acting classes, monologue, got an agent, and started going that route. Because I rode motorcycles and I was on the racetrack all the time, I had a lot of action roles that were offered to me. Like, these are indie films. These are small production films. And I had a lot of those roles, and they said, okay, so you can pull up on the motorcycle and you can jump off and start fighting.
Yeah.
I'm like,
yeah, I guess so.
I can't. How do you fight? So I did not grow up taking martial arts. Okay. So like many of the stunt people have, actually. I researched the best place to get certified in some kind of fighting for film, and it happened to be in London. So I flew over to London and I went to the British Academy of Stage and Screen Combat, and I got certified in unarmed combat and rapier and dagger. It was weeks. Yeah, it wasn't like a semester or anything like that. And then I just continued doing workshops. But the best part about that is not only did I learn how to fight, but I learned how to fight safely so that I wouldn't hurt the other person that I was fighting with on set. And that's the most important thing. I mean, you can have all the fight training in the world. As a stunt person, you come to set and you punch me in the face.
Yeah.
You're not doing your job.
Yeah.
And then I get hurt.
You're done. Yeah. And then they can't even use you. So what's the point? Yeah.
Right. So I know camera angles and I know how to make it look like a hard punch. And then of course the other person has to have some of that acting ability too in order to, sell the punch on camera. And, you just practice that, you practice filming and you get better at it.
So what got you interested in motorcycles? Because as long as I've known you, you've always been really well versed in motorcycle world, but also just like that's been your passion.
It was watching my ex-husband take off on, early on a Saturday or Sunday morning to go ride with his buddies. And I was just getting at home and I'm like, wait a minute, this is.
I do that too.
Yeah, I don't want to sit by the pool. I want to do something. So I signed up for a course in Italy with Ducati at the Ferrari racetrack. I signed up for that course in Imola, and it was literally a one-day course.
Wow.
And they put you on the bike, and then the craziest part of that training, first time ever on a bike in a Ducati, which is pretty powerful, the instructor got on the back of the bike with me.
Oh, wow. That's normal?
No, not over here.
Oh.
I guess.
So he could talk to you and give you direction. Yeah,
exactly. And so he was yelling, in my ear, do this, do that, faster, slower,
Wow.
So it worked.
Yeah. When you go for training, you seem to really go for training. You're not like, I went to a little day school, like up the road from my house. You like go to Europe and all these amazing places, but because you can.
The nice part about my job is that when I do film on location outside of the New York area, in our SAG contract, it is required that we get a business class seat on a flight, full fare.
I love whoever your negotiator is.
I know. So it's pretty amazing. So last year I flew to Louisiana for a week. I had my, we don't have business class on, the 737. So they gave me first class.
Yeah.
And I flew full fare. They said, who do you want to fly with? I said, I want to fly with American Airlines. So they bought my first class full fare ticket on American, flew me out to Louisiana, rental car waiting for me. I got to the airport, jumped in the rental car, got to the hotel, everything's covered, and then had my flight back. So
I can totally see how that's a valuable argument from a union perspective in your job, because you need your stunt person to show up rested and comfortable and not with a kink. If they're flying to Europe and they're in a middle seat in coach and they're like squished this, and then you're like, I can't even move right now because I couldn't even move in my seat for like 6 hours. So that actually delays filming and everything else. So that makes sense to me.
And that's not just stunts. That's pretty much whoever.
Acting community. No, that makes sense.
Anyone who's a member of SAG.
Yeah, I love that. God, I'm in the wrong business. I wish we always flew only.
Yeah, but it doesn't happen all the time, trust me.
Is there any hesitation on your part though, that when you were like light bulb, I think I want to be a stunt, I think I'm gonna pursue stunt person to be a stunt woman. I mean, where you're like, oh no, like I'm not gonna get beat up and I'm a mom, like I can't. Or was it not even a question in your mind? Like I can do that.
Yeah, no question.
That's just so you, because you're always like, whatever, let's just do it. I don't care.
I think, you know what, actually, now that I think about it, one moment in my life that sparked my interest in stunts was when I got into a car accident. And a car made a left-hand turn in front of me. Everyone was okay, but I hit the car on the side and pushed it for a little bit. Now that's cool. I do that for a living. I get paid to do that.
Like I could do this, but I mean, you came out of it instead of like blacking out about it or like having some sort of PTSD. You were like, no, actually, I felt really in control of that, because it sounds like because everybody was fine.
Totally. So then of course. Then I do stunt driving. Then I take stunt driving courses. And that I definitely do every year because I need, I take a refresher course every year. So I absolutely love
those courses. Are they like a couple of days? A week?
You go for a few days for the initial training, and then I'll go one day. But you have to remember 1 day a year, sometimes more, but you have to remember I'm doing this also on set. One stunt coordinator early on suggested that I get my Class A CDL because there weren't any women that had their Class A CDL. So I did that. So I took 6 weeks off of work and I went to school and learned how to drive tractor trailers and buses.
Because I remember I was flying with you and you had just come back from doing so. I think you had just gotten that license or something. And you said, well, I just jumped in. I think it was like an 18-wheeler and you just had to just do it. You were like, oh my God, I haven't done this, but I'm not going to let them know I don't feel. I mean, I don't think you were ever uncomfortable, but you just had to like do it. Like, you had to jump in there. Yeah. And it was like a major scene. And I was like, girl, and you were
I mean, that's what I enjoy. I enjoy doing things that challenge me, that I'm not very familiar with. And it's funny because when you get on set and you're doing stunts, you never do the same stunt twice, no matter what. The situation's going to be different. The environment's going to be different. Everything I do, I mean, you have to do, there's no hesitation. You just have to, you got to do it.
It's just, you can't hesitate as a stunt person. Then it's
right.
not
Right. Yeah. Then maybe that job's not for you.
It wouldn't be for me. I'd be like, I don't know. I got to think about this for a minute. You didn't watch something and say, oh, I'm going to do that. That was just, we already kind of went over that because you just sort of went into that. It wasn't like you watched Wonder Woman when you were like younger, like Lynda Carter, and was like, I want to do that. I want to be Wonder Woman. I wanted to be Wonder Woman, but I didn't want to like really roll down hills and things.
No, it's really, I never even really considered stunts.
Yeah.
Till I started getting these acting jobs riding motorcycles and they wanted me to do stunts. And I was like, okay, I guess I better learn how to do that. And then I started getting more jobs that way than acting jobs. And it just, I kind of got pulled in that direction, really.
So do you have now, like, do people come to you and say, listen, I got something I kind of want you to try out for? Or are you kind of in pursuit of jobs? I mean, are they posted on some website, guys?
We have a couple of sites that you can list yourself for free. Stunt coordinators can get on. I mean, of course, they have like the premium membership and all of that. And I might be working more if I did that. But I mean, to be honest with you, I like the variety. Yeah. If I were just a stunt woman, I don't know. I'd get bored. I mean, there are a lot of, I've been on set before for 16 hours and not been used until the last hour. Like, there's a lot sitting around. There's a lot of waiting. It's not all exciting. And I absolutely love to travel. I couldn't give that up. I just couldn't.
No, me either.
So yeah, the variety is just fantastic.
I do love my time off, but then I'm like, okay, I got to get around a plane. I got to smell the jet fuel. I get very, very antsy. I think it gets my blood.
Got to get my yogurt in Europe.
Got to get my French yogurt.
I can tell you by far what my most challenging job was.
As a stunt person? Yes.
And that was on the biggest Harley that they make, Harley Electric Glide Ultra Classic. I believe it weighs almost 1,000 pounds. I showed up on set. They said they would take my size into consideration when picking a motorcycle for the scene. No, they did not do that at all. So they get this 1,000-pound bike.
Yeah, Gina's a tiny person, by the way. But,
Oh yeah, I'm 5'3", barely 5'3". So they get the biggest bike they can find, and then I see this stunt double. I hadn't worked with her before, but she was stunt doubling a child on for that show, and I went up to her and I said, oh, hey, I'm Gina. I'm the motorcycle rider. Are you going to be on the back with me? And then this huge guy behind me taps me on the shoulder. He goes, "No, I am." And I'm like, "Oh my God. Like, are you kidding me?" So not only did I have to hold the weight of this motorcycle up, but this guy, the stunt double, was like 200 pounds. He was huge. So I had him on the back of the bike, and I had to do a chase scene with a taxi cab.
Oh my God.
So that, by far, that was my second stunt job, I think, ever. And I mean, at the end of it, I just looked at the stunt coordinator.
What is the most extreme way you've altered your appearance for a role or for a stunt double?
Well, I had this long, beautiful hair.
Yeah.
And I had it cut to here, above my shoulders. And then I had it completely shaved. Yeah, it was the right side. They basically just parted it down the middle, and they shaved this entire side bald. So what I did then when I came back to work is I just parted it over on this side, which is actually why it's still parted on this side. I always parted it over here.
It stayed, that part, like just...
It did, it just stayed. So now I part it here, and then I just covered up the bald, but I couldn't really tuck it behind my ear because then you could see all the shaved part here. But
yeah, you could see it, but I remember you asked me, "Can you see that?" I'm like, kinda. How long did that take to grow out, that hair?
Oh my gosh. So
the
the only reason that I did it is because my hair grows 1 to 2 inches a month. I mean, my hair grows really fast, so I knew that I wasn't going to have a problem with the hair growing in, because what I used to do is I used to cut it shoulder length and then grow it out again. And I did that about 2 or 3 times for locks of love.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I would do that all the time.
Can you say what project that was for or not?
Oh yeah, of course. I was stunt doubling an actress on Law and Order, and it was for an MMA fight. But they hired her as the actress for the role, and that was how she really wore her hair.
Oh, wow.
So it was really funny. She apologized. She's like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I didn't realize, They don't want actors to get hurt because you can't replace an actor. So if she had twisted her ankle or something like that, but that was one person that I stunt doubled that was fully capable of doing her own work, because she did live action shows out in Los Angeles.
Okay.
But yeah, we're replaceable. The actors are not. So if you hear somebody say that they do all their own stunts, that's not true.
It really isn't.
No, because they can't afford for that actor or actress to be out of work and shut the production down because of an injury.
Right.
So there's always a stunt double behind the scenes.
Sitting for 16 hours and waiting to get used.
Exactly.
Yeah, just waiting for that last hour to be used. Yeah, what is your, do you guys, like we have for flying, only legal amounts of time we can fly? Do you guys have the same thing in your
we just have like mad overtime rates.
Okay.
So I think I want to say the longest I've ever been on set filming, maybe 16, 17 hours. Wow. It's all made up in pay for us. So they have to feed us every 6 hours. We have to have a sit-down meal every 6 hours. If we don't get that sit-down catered meal, then, they have to pay us a penalty.
Wow.
So, I mean, there's a penalty for everything. Rain, smoke, yeah.
Wow, that's kind of cool though.
Yeah. And then as stunt people, stunt performers, we also get what's called a stunt adjustment or a bump. We usually get that. That's based on the difficulty of the stunt, and that is basically an extra amount that they add to your paycheck. It's like a tip.
Oh, nice.
We're doing a good job.
Wow. All right. That's interesting. All these little ins and outs. It's similar to the flying world a little bit, but then it's also so different. I don't know. So how many shows and movies do you think you've done to date?
I think I have 40 something credits on IMDb. Are you familiar with that? Internet Movie Database. That's basically my resume. However, that doesn't include, I was in 5 episodes of the TV show Gotham. So that only counts as 1 credit.
Okay. Oh, okay. Okay.
So I was in, I think, 5 episodes of another show. I worked on 5 episodes. So that right there is 10. So, if you count like each episode,
hundreds.
More than, probably not hundreds, but more than 40 some.
No, you're getting to the hundreds.
So
you're still busy. The movie business is still thriving. Thank God COVID.
Yes, I'm waiting today. I should hear whether or not I just got a movie to stunt double in Guatemala.
Oh, wow. Wonderful. Hey. Okay, so have you sustained like a really bad injury doing stunts? Or what is the worst injury you've sustained?
Worst injury? A bruise.
Seriously? Wow. That means you're really good.
But you have to put that into perspective. Well, again, it's because the training. We know that when we fight, we don't need to make contact to make it look like we've made contact on camera. So not only that, but I do a lot of motorcycle work. I do a lot of bus driving, New York MTA buses, correctional buses. I drove the correctional bus on Rikers Island. We had to get, special clearance before we even got onto the island to film. That was for Inventing Anna. So I'm not doing maybe super crazy. Last year, I think I did 2 fight scenes, a lot of driving, really, a lot of stunt driving.
Well, that's your own little,
falling. I better know how to fall without hurting myself. Oh, this is a fun story. So I was filming all night, overnight in Washington, D.C. for the Purge election year. Okay. And this was like a different unit of production of the movie. So they hired a lot of people in the DC area, which is where I'm originally from. So of course, the stunt coordinator that was doing those scenes that night called me to come down and do that. So I went down to DC. I was working all night. I had London the next day. I drove back all night. It was the late London though. So I got in the morning, slept during the day, packed and went to the airport. But what I just didn't consider was that I was getting shot in the movie, and they use something called squibs. So they're like packets of blood, and they have those all over your body. I think I had 7 or 8. I was going to get shot like 7 or 8 times. So they put that all over your body. They have to have like an explosive component to them, and that would be, the residue and everything that is on you from that. So I go through security at JFK, and they decide to pull me to test me for explosives.
Oh my God. And you had them all over your body.
They were all over my body. So of course I'm like, oh my God. Like, how do I explain this to security that, if I test positive, that I did have explosives all over me? I had a video I could have showed them on my cell phone, but Who's going to believe that one? A flight attendant coming through in high heels and pantyhose and a dress saying, oh no, I was stunt doubling in a movie with explosives.
Yeah.
But I was really nervous when they did that. And I tested, they tested my hands. Yeah. So luckily, I guess it all washed off in the shower. I was fine.
Okay, good. But you were like, seriously, I'm really going to have to say what I'm
freaking out. I was like, how do you explain this?
Is that stuff hard to get off? That
I don't know. I mean,
but that fake blood stuff, does it just wash off?
Usually. Sometimes it's hard. What's really hard to get off is like the latex when they change your appearance, and they put all the latex on your face, and sometimes that's hard to get off, especially when it gets in your hair. We did win. I worked on The Irishman, and we got a nomination for Best Stunt Ensemble in a Motion Picture. And I believe The Joker.
Oh, wow.
But that was still cool. So I still got my certificate. I got to frame that. So you get to go to the award shows, which is cool, right? Negative.
Why?
We're stunts. We're not actors.
God, but don't they have a stunt award ceremony?
We do. We have the Taurus World Stunt Awards. We have small award for stunts, but nothing. I know, right? What would a movie be without stunts? Think about it for a minute.
I know.
So I did have a role in a big film coming out next year, and it was underwater stunts. I'm scuba certified, so it was that one. I can't talk about completely until it comes. I can talk about anything after it comes out, but before, So I'm hoping that because I got a role in that, I will get to go to the red carpet premiere, because it was a pretty big role. So, other than that, stunts is stunts, and acting is acting. It's just different. We get treated a little bit differently, but I don't do it for that. So it's okay. I'm fine with that.
So you have like the best of both worlds. You got your travel bug taken care of, and you've got your stunting and I think acting bug. I think there's a lot of acting and stunting.
Absolutely. I just recently I've booked acting stunt jobs. So it's been so much fun. I've gotten to use my acting ability, and it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's the best thing about this job, being a flight attendant. There's so many things you can do. Mm-hmm. I love calling this segment "Flight Attendants Do More Than Fly," because a lot of flight attendants do so many other things.
People don't, or the general public certainly, they don't get it. And when I'm on a plane and I'm walking down the aisle and I see somebody watching me on the screen, I'm like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. I love it.
Half a while shoulder would be like, that's me.
I did. One lady was watching Gotham, and I'd done 5 episodes of that, and I pointed it out and I said, that's me. I did that stunt.
Oh my God. Was she like, are you serious? Was she like turned around and was like,
oh, the best was, so I'm on my way to London, and I have James Franco. Okay. And I stunt doubled Amber Heard. I know you know Amber Heard. I stunt doubled her in a James Franco movie called The Areal Diaries. And he walked on board, and he was putting his stuff away, getting settled, and just, small talk. He was really, really nice. And I said, hey, I was Amber's stunt double in The Areal Diaries. He lost it. He was like, no way. Oh my God, seriously. seriously, because that is so cool. So I'm like, well, I fly when I'm not filming, and then, when I'm filming, I'm not flying, and just rearranging my schedule. But it was funny.
That's awesome. I remember, I guess, I don't know if you told me or I saw something on your social that you did like the tennis scene and
the Sex in the City and Just Like That.
Just Like That, yeah. And you were
stunt up Kristen Davis. Charlotte,
yes. That's so cool because your hair is like, I could just see that. Because your hair is like
they curled it.
Do you have like a side-by-side shot? Hopefully we can use that. Do you have like a side-by-side kind of?
I have a lot of friends in the business that get pictures with the people that they double. But a lot of my friends take pictures with the actress that they're doubling. And I'm not gutsy enough to ask. I feel like
totally gutsy, Gina.
And it's like, professional environment, and the last thing they want is, can I get a picture with you? Can I get a picture? That's how I take it. So I never ask anybody to, because we're in the same outfits. They're pretty cool pictures. I think maybe I have one. Oh, I do have one from Gotham. And that was because she asked me to take a picture because we were dressed the same.
Oh, cool. Yay.
But yeah, I don't like to bother. I don't like to bother the talent.
Right. So. Yeah. And you're talented too. So like.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right. See ya.
Bye.
Bye.